Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Entrepreneur Sales, where I teach you how to win at the highest level. Look, in sales is a beautiful thing, but today we're going to talk about marketing, how to go to the next level, how to get more local clients. I think that's a huge issue. Hey, make sure you like and subscribe. Check out the channel. Most accounts, I would say, believe they have a marketing problem. Turns out they don't, right? Positioning problem, visibility problem, authority problem. That's what I call it. A market ownership problem. The average accounting firm is competing for clients. Elite accounting firms are competing for mind share. I want you to think about that. Mind share. Market and mind share. Two different things, right? And whoever owns the mind share owns the market. So if you're consistently chasing leads, networking every week, hoping referrals show up and wondering where your next client's coming from, I hate to tell you, but you already lost, right? You already lost. And we want to be winning. That's what this is all about, winning at the highest level. Look, the firms winning today aren't necessarily better accountants than you, but they are positioned, right? They're better known. They're more trusted. And most importantly, they're reviewed as the obvious choice. So what I'm going to do today, right, I'm going to show you how to dominate these local markets, command premium fees, attract better clients, and become virtually impossible to compete against. That's what you want to do. That's where you want to be, at the top. All right, go ahead and grab your pencil and paper. We're going to start writing these down. I believe I have 10 modules for you today. 10 modules. I spent a lot of time on this, right? I feel like it's important to teach you sales, important to teach you marketing, right? All right, here's the thing. So for me, in Module 1, I'd like to title it, Stop Thinking Like an Accountant and Start Thinking Like an Owner. What does that even mean, right? So, the first mindset shift that I need you to make, right? Hold on. Let me go ahead and shut that. The first mindset shift that I need you to make is understanding what business you're actually in. Look, most accountants think they're in the accounting business, and you are, right? The numbers business. But here's the thing. Respectively, you're actually not, right? You're in the business transformation business. Let me say it again. You're in the business transformation business, right? Think about it. Nobody wakes up wanting bookkeeping. Nobody wakes up wanting tax preparation. Nobody wakes up wanting financial statements. Business owners want outcomes. They want more cash flow, higher profits, less stress, better business decisions, lower taxes, faster growth, and more freedom, right? That's the whole reason they started a business was, I want more freedom. So make sure you pause, rewind if you need to, and write those down. It was more cash flow, higher profits, less stress, better decisions, lower. This is the things they want, right? The biggest mistake accountants make is selling services, right? You have to understand, the best firms sell outcomes. It's all about selling outcomes, right? Most people tell when they're speaking with business owners, look, hey, so, I'm a bookkeeper and I have bookkeeping services. Like, what does that even mean, right? Instead, you want to say something like this. We help contractors increase profitability, improve cash flow, and keep more of what they earn. Which one commands higher fees? Which one creates more authority? Which one is easier to refer, right? You guys, the market pays for outcomes, not activities, right? So quit telling them what you do and tell them what using your services does. That's what it's all about. All right, let's go to Module 2, why most accountants are commodities. The fastest way to lose is to sound like everyone else, right? Let's play a game. Here's the thing, right? Ask 10 accountants what they do. You've got friends, most of them are in this business. Ask them, what do you do? Say, hey, Janet, I'm playing a game. What do you do? They're going to say, and this is what you'll hear, tax preparation, payroll, bookkeeping, accounting, financial statements. Here's the problem, right? Every competitor is saying the same thing. And you all sound the same, all identical, right? That's why your bank accounts are all the same. That's why you all have the same amount of clients, right? Because you all do the same things. That's the problem. The prospect, if you all sound identical, understand this. The prospect only has one way to compare you, and that's through price. And when price becomes a comparison, everyone loses, right? Here's the thing. Elite firms create categories. They become profitability specialists, growth advisors, cash flow experts, fractional CFO firms, strategic business advisors, profit and growth experts, right? Make sure you go to Universal Accounting Center. People compare accountants. That's the number one thing. Right? They're always doing it. They're not comparing categories. The goal is not to be the best accountant. The goal is to become incomparable. I want to be incomparable. Look, I have to be uncommon in a common market. It just is what it is. So how can you stand out? Well, you know yourself better than anyone else. Think about what you can do, what your services do, and tell the story about that. All right, let's go to Module 3. Module 3. Make sure you're writing all this down. You're only hurting your future income, not mine. Right? All right, Module 3. The local market intelligence strategy. This is where most firms completely miss the opportunity. Most accountants create accounting content. What's that? That's the dumbest thing ever. Nobody cares, right? Because you have to understand this. The business owner, they're worried about the issues within the business. So you have to speak to solving those problems. They're not lying there. All right? They're not lying there awake at night worrying about reconciliations. How insane would that be? No, that's your job. Right? So look, this is what they worry about. Hiring employees, cash flow, payroll, taxes, growth, inflation, profitability. So instead of becoming an accounting expert, become the local business intelligence expert. Create content around state of small business you're in market, right? This is how you do that. Industry profitability trends, okay? Local economic opportunities. Cash flow benchmarks, hiring and labor trends, industry tax strategies, right? Imagine publishing top 7 profit killers facing Ohio contractors, or the hidden cash flow crisis impacting local restaurants. Now you're not an accountant, you're an authority. And authority is what attracts the client. So you want to speak and tell stories and what's going on and how you would solve those. It's going to gravitate them towards you. Not telling them what you do. Already know. Your title speaks to it, right? How are you going to change their future? You have to talk to that at all times. And use pain in there. Use pain in your marketing. It drives change. Right? And you have to post daily. I recommend posting once every hour on your marketing. Once every hour. So 12 times a day you should market. You need to brainwash. You need to brainwash your audience. So when the time comes, who do they resort to? You. Because you're all they've seen. Look at Doritos. Look at Subway. Look at all the commercials you see. You got to take the concepts. All right. Anyway. Module 4. Geographic saturation. Most firms try to market everywhere. All right. I see it all the time. I'm driving down the road. Billboard. Boom, 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 boom. It's nonsense, right? You have to dominate somewhere. Not everywhere, but somewhere. All right? This is one of the biggest mistakes in professional services, right? Guys, you don't need the entire country. Come on, what are we doing? You need ownership of a specific market. So let's say you're targeting contractors, right? Within 50 miles. Revenue between $500K and $10 million. Now everything becomes easier, right? Your content improves, your referrals improves, the partnerships get better, your messaging increases, it gets better. The authority, right? The mind share authority. That's what we want. I want to dominate their minds, right? Market domination happens through concentration, not expansion. The richest firms don't spread themselves thin, they saturate, right? That's what you got to do. All right, Module 5. Building strategic referral ecosystems. Guys, most accountants have referral partners. Elite firms build referral ecosystems. That's a massive difference, right? Referral partners sends occasional referrals. A referral ecosystem creates opportunities every week, right? This is what you need to do. You have to build relationships with, and write this down, business attorneys, commercial bankers, payroll companies, insurance advisors, business brokers, commercial lenders, wealth advisors, marketing agencies. And here's the thing. Every one of these professionals has clients, right? Many of those clients need accounting help. But here's the advanced strategy. Guys, stop asking, can you send me referrals? Okay, let me teach you a trick here. Let me teach you a trick. How can I help your clients grow? The moment you help their clients win, referrals start flowing naturally. It's called reciprocity, all right? So just think, how can I help people's clients grow? Reciprocity. If I give someone something, they got to give me something in return. It's psychological. It's psychology. They can't fight it. It's a mammalian brain, right? Oh, he did something for me? God, most people are good people, so they're not going to take and not give. Does that make sense? So if you want a lot of referrals, start helping people out. It's common sense to me. All right, bam! Module 6. Let's jump into it. If you're still here, by the way, you're a winner. probably making a lot of sales, right? These videos are truly helping you. Here's the thing. You either can have $1 million firm or you can have a junk firm. You decide. You got to put in the work. Make sure you're doing 100 calls a day, 50 to 100 calls a day to business owners. By the end of the week, you should be making a sale. All right. Hey, Module 6, the economic conversion. The economic conversion. Okay? What does that even mean? It's a framework. Okay? It's a conversation framework. Here's what I mean by the economic conversion. Most accountants talk accounting. Elite advisors talk economics. Huge difference, right? Business owners don't buy accounting. They buy better business outcomes. You have to learn to ask questions like, what's your current profit percentage, right? What is your average customer value? What is your labor percentage? What are your biggest cash leaks? What is preventing growth? What does a successful year look like? Hey, if we increase profitability by 5%, what would that mean financially for you and your business? These questions move out of accounting. They move you into advisory. All of a sudden, you start charging more. But you don't even know how to do any of this stuff unless you're educated on it. So make sure you go to Universal Accounting Center and get our Profit and Growth certification. Learn advisory skills, level 1 through 5. Learn how to win. Charge $2 to $5 grand a month. You kidding me? And when you're making it people 10 to 30 grand extra, they don't mind paying you that kind of money. So the only person holding you back is really yourself and the thoughts that you have. All right, Module 7. The Profit and Growth Advantage leads me to my next module. You see how I did that? This is where the future of accounting is heading. Bookkeeping tells clients what happened. Advisory helps clients decide what happens next. That's a completely different value proposition. Right? Business owners don't need more reports. They need more answers. Here's the thing. Questions like, should I hire? Can I even afford another location? Should I raise prices? Where's my profit leaking? How do I improve cash flow? What KPIs should I track? That's where advisory commands premium fees. You're no longer reporting information. You're helping drive decisions. And decisions create value. All right, Module 8. We've got 2 more modules. We're getting there. All right? We're hitting home runs out of the ballpark. Module 8, building your authority machine. Authority isn't your credentials. Even though you think it is, it's not. Not at all. In fact, more than half of your clients, probably all of them, have never even seen your degree or certification. So authority isn't built through credentials. Authority is built through consistency. Every week you should be producing long-form educational videos, LinkedIn content, email newsletters, industry reports, local business insights, client success stories, advisory training, business growth content. You have to understand, most accounts post occasionally, right? What do I say? Post 12 times a day, once every hour. Elite firms become media companies. That's the future. The future is, instead of thinking like an accounting company, I need to be a media company. Well, the more media, the better. The more clients you'll get. Right? It's just how it works. So the firm that teaches the market owns the market. It's just how it works. It's common sense. Start using it. All right, Module 9. Listen, it's all about becoming the obvious choice, right? This is where everything should come together. So when a prospect needs help with profitability, cash flow growth, tax planning, hiring decisions, business strategy, your name should immediately come to mind. Not because you're the cheapest, not because you're the loudest, because you've positioned yourself as the authority. Think about it. You've educated consistently. You've delivered value. You've built trust. You've become visible. And trust compounds, right? Module 10, Market Domination. The final level is market ownership. I'd rather own the market than be a part of it, right? This is where referrals become predictable. Content becomes leverage, authority becomes momentum, and clients become advocates. And finally, your business becomes self-reinforcing. Most accountants, most of you guys, spend your careers trying to find clients. What I want you to start doing is spending your career building systems that attract clients. One path is exhausting. The other one creates a lot of money, family legacy, all the things that you started this for a reason. Or maybe you just didn't want to work 9 to 5. There's all kinds, right? But understand this. The goal isn't to get more leads. The goal is becoming the firm everyone already knows, trusts, and recommends. Because when that happens, it's not about competing, it's dominating. So ask yourself, how do I become the obvious choice in my market? That's what you want to do. You want to own the referrals, own the opportunities, add more fees, more premium fees, do more. The more you learn, the more you earn. You got to start doing more. I don't know what to tell you. Just get out there and dominate the market. I'll see you in the next video, and have a good one.